The Wimmera Report. Scotty Stewart is with us from the Warracknabeal Herald. And how are you there, Scotty?
Yeah, I'm going well, thanks, Wayne.
All right, down to earth come the boys from the Warwick Eagles. They had a massive win over the Horsham D's the week before, but they come up against the Ararats at Alexandra Oval. And, well, let's just say you had 2 goals for the day and 1 goal for most of it. It was a tough outing, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. They come up pretty well short against the Rats there, and I think we spoke last week about you've seen the results from the Ararat lads in the first 4 rounds, and seeing them last weekend, and you can see why they are sitting there undefeated. They got some pretty handy recruits there. One of the fellas that used to play for Ararat, a returnee this year. He's brought a couple of his mates with him down from I think it was Box Hill. This kid was playing, and some good players and some good players for Matty Welder to work with down there, and he certainly got them up and firing. But yeah, the Eagles they had a bit of a battle last weekend, and as you said there, they only had 1 goal up to the 3/4 time, and just couldn't get into the game. But sort of windy conditions down there, and Ararat made the most of them in the first quarter. But then the Eagles, when they had their chance, they sort of went missing a bit. So couldn't find the scoring power up forward, and as you look at those results there, 3/4 time she's 11 goals to 1, and only 1 more goal after 3/4 time. So yeah, bad day for the Eagles, but Ararat, they're a pretty good unit.
Oh, they certainly are. And what a performance it has been through the season. We'll just take a look at that in a moment when we preview this week's games with them taking on the Southern Mallee Giants. But in other matches, a big upset for the Giants. It was Horsham D's 13-16 to the 4 goals 12 from injured Giants. But you got the points against the Horsham D's the week before, and I tell you what, they were angry enough and came out and showed why.
Yeah, they must have been, especially that second half. Looking at the scorecard with the Giants, they went goalless in the second half there, only putting on about 8 minor scores. But Horsham, they finished off well, especially that last quarter. You can see there 6 goals to holding the Giants goalless. But probably mentioned a bit, but a few injury worries with the Giants, and I think that's the second week in a row, wasn't it? They fallen away in the last quarter, but from all reports, doing it without a bench with injuries to some key players. So they had some troubles up there at the minute with injuries the Giants, but Horsham, you said, they were probably pretty keen to make amends for that loss to the Eagles the week before.
They were. The Horsham Saints were pretty eager to make amends for a number of losses. They beat the Nil Seniors side 14-13 to 8-9.
Yeah, did that one pretty well. But it looks pretty good, pretty competitive there for most of the game. But looks like, just with the Saints in that last quarter kicking 4 goals to 1, they sort of extended a lead throughout the day, and looks like, just had a bit too much scoring power up forward. A couple of fellas who bagging 4 goals each, so they did well, and then got their first win on the board and put themselves into 6th place on the ladder at the minute. So they'll be pretty happy with that one.
Certainly would be. Koeman Martin you speak of there with the goals. Having a look at the final one was the big one though, Demi, and the Demi side 10-13-73. They keep coming. They beat Stall 10-10-70, and it means when you look at the ladder now, the Dimbullaroos are at the bottom of the ladder, but now are in a place where I think they can challenge.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That must have been so much an important win for those for the Dimmy boys last weekend. A pretty good game. I think it's again was a couple of the results. A bit of windy conditions there, and it was a matter of who made the most of those conditions. But I think though this game was just so even right throughout the whole day. Only a goal separating the teams at 3/4 time, and then 3 points separating the sides at the final whistle. But as you say, Jimmy, they're sitting on -4 at the minute and got a good chance this weekend to square the ledger and make their way into Black Figures now. So they'll be pretty keen to wipe that deficit away for sure.
They certainly will be. Having a look at the games, and Ararat take on the Southern Valley Giants at Beulah, and I've tipped Ararat, and the reason why is round 1 they beat Stawell by 8 goals, round 2 they beat Nil by 17 goals, round 3 they got in there and beat the Horsham Saints by 23 goals, round 4 they came up against Dimboola and beat them by 7 goals, and in round 5 the Rats were way too good for Warracknabeal by 11 goals. So there you go. There's the reason why they haven't got anyone even get close to them this year.
No, that's fairly good stats you're just reading out there, isn't it? And look, I'm sort of with you now with what we hear with these injury worries that the Giants have got to some pretty key players, and saying last week there with Coleman Jack sort of joining the injured list with Benny Webster and Liam Price, and there's a couple more like Lou White the week before that. So it's just so hard to replace quality like that in, and I think the Rats, they just go along nicely. They don't have too many injury worries. They will make the trek up the Beulah, so that'll be a one thing in the Giants' favour there. But they're just their scoring power. You look at last week for the goals that they kicked, and Tommy Mills, he's been in the goal kicking right up there with some good bags, and he got 2 last week, but fella Corey Taylor kicked 4 from last week, and so they're just sharing the load and having some pretty good results, aren't they? So look, you're thinking it's going to be pretty good conditions up here this weekend, and you think that they will really enjoy that the weather and that style of play that they're going to put together. So I think they might be a bit too good for the Giants because of those injury worries.
And the Giants stand a chance of dropping out of the top 5. It really is unbelievable to think about it. In comes Sam Waddell, Riley Lehman, Dylan Marshman and Jonty Bellinger to be part of their squad this weekend. Minyip Matoa and Horsham D's. Match of the round up at Minyip. Oh, tell you what, this is going to be a beauty. I reckon I'm going to go with the D's here in an upset.
Well, there you go. Must have pretty well impressed you there last weekend with that win over the Giants. The Burrows, they're going to make their return. They set out a bye last weekend, so you think they'll be all pretty well fresh and at full strength. So I think I'd be sticking with Mini Matoa. They played pretty odd. I know a few weeks ago they played the Warwick Eagles, and I saw them firsthand. They were pretty good, and but then I thought they might struggle when they come against the Giants, but they did that pretty well. So they sort of what I thought was going to happen probably just didn't. So they probably surprised me a little bit in that regard. But they are a good side, and I'd say they're probably full strength and injury free. So they'll be good. But we were talking about the D's there. They'd be pretty confident after last week's win, and they boys like Ronan Comboy and Deke Roberts and Paddy Purcell and these blokes, if they're all up and about and firing, they're going to give the Mini Matoa boys a good run for their money. But I probably will stick with the Burrows at this stage.
Dimmy faced Nil in the game for right out there into the Hindmarsh part of the world, and I'm going to tip a big win there to Dimboola.
Yeah, I think they were saying there before I'll square the ledger after this one this weekend. The Nil boys had a good match there against the Horsham Saints last weekend and battled away and put not a bad score on the board. But yeah, I think Jimmy, just with that knowledge and knowing that they could be, I'd square the ledger with this win and then start to put some points on the board and try and make their way up the ladder. They won't be wanting to drop this game, and I think the coach Justin Buger will have his boys pretty well up and firing, and it could be a sizable win here to the Roos.
Yes, I think so. And the Warwick Eagles against Stawell down at Central Park. This could be the other match of the round, because the Eagles, a win here keeps you in touch with that top 5. And Stawell, well, they're the side I think that are perhaps susceptible to dropping out. I reckon a real chance here, Scotty. Yeah,
it will be. I reckon I'll totally agree with you on that case there, Wayne. I reckon that it'll be a pretty good match, this one. Stawell must have been pretty impressive last week with that performance against Timmy, and I've heard during the week that they did play their best game for the year. So that was a good time to do that. And Danny Bell and the Warwick Eagles are probably hoping they don't put in their best performance in this weekend. But they're pretty good down there at Central Park, and they know their ground well. And they have a pretty good game plan. And if the Eagles can try and get over and get through that press and that game plan that the Store boys put on down at Central Park, they'll go a long way to give themselves a good shot. They got a couple of boys back this week, the Eagles. Their ruckman, Jacob Sobey, who hurt his hamstring in the pre-season. He's going to play his first game this weekend, so that's good that Sobes is back into that lineup. And another tall in Matty Johns and a midfielder in Sean McKenzie will return after missing last weekend's game. So they're going in pretty well at full strength. A couple of minor injuries to some players, but that is, as you said. And I think this next month of football, everything up until that long weekend, it's just going to be really important to all the teams, and especially the Warwick Eagles with games against Stall and then the Saints and Nil in the next 3 weeks. So if they can put some wins on the board, that'll push them up into a chance for a top 5 berth. But it's going to be really interesting over the next few weeks.
Oh, it really is. A terrific round of football for Wimmera. And Scotty Stewart from the Herald, thanks for joining us to discuss it. We'll catch up with you next time.
Yeah, no worries. Go on your way.